Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to today's session. I know everybody is on mute, but you all can raise your hands. Am I audible? Yes. Okay. So let's begin. So we are doing the Bhagavad Gita overview for our VEC course, and we are studying what are the subject matters of Bhagavad Gita. So first, let us have a recap, quick recap. So Bhagavad Gita has got how many verses? 700 verses, 18 chapters, 5 truths, 12 plus 4 themes, 3 divisions, and 72 analogies. That is, examples that Krishna has given to Arjuna to explain certain things. So we cannot do, entire 18 chapters in this overview session, 5 sessions. Neither can we recite 700 verses. So we are just going to have a quick overview of this 5 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, and that those are called as 5 truths. So far we have covered the first, that is Ishwar. Second, we have done Jiva. We have done Karma last time. And today we are going to do Kal. Kal means time. You can see that Kal, there is a clock over there, watch over there. So today we are going to study about Kal. Okay. So what did we study about Ishwar? Who God is. God means he has to have 6 opulences. He has to be most beautiful. He has to be most powerful. He has to be most strong. He has to be most intelligent. He has to be, even after having all these things, he has to be renounced. He is not proud at all. So this is, how Ishwar is. And then Vyasdev says that who is Ishwar in Bhagavad Gita? While Vyasdev is describing, Krishna, he's saying that Sri Bhagavan Uvacha is describing Krishna as Bhagavan. So Krishna is Bhagavan, Ishwar. Then God is the controller, creator, and maintainer of everything. So we saw Jiva. Jiva means all living entities. We saw that there are 84 lakh species of living entities, and how we are not these bodies. The soul is entrapped. It is staying. It is living within the body, just like we are. While we are driving in a motor car, we are seated in the motor car and driving elsewhere. So we saw that we are not these bodies, but we are the spirit souls. We are the jivas. So same in quality as the Lord, but different in quantity. So we saw various examples, of the ocean and ocean drop of ocean water. So the characteristics are same, the qualities are same, but the quantity matters. Then we saw about karma. If whatever good, bad karmas we do, that is going to ultimately define our next life, next body, what it is going to be. And then we saw karma, akarma, and vikarma. So karma is what you are doing it for yourself, for your own self gratification, for your own pleasure. That is karma. Akarma is something which we are doing it for the pleasure of God. We are same activity. Like we gave example. Duryodhan is also fighting the war, and Arjuna is also fighting. But Duryodhan is doing it for himself, and Arjuna is doing for the pleasure of Krishna, because Krishna is telling him he is doing it. And then vikarma is all bad activities, unlawful activities against the scriptures, whatever activities which are mentioned in the scriptures as unlawful, which are prohibited, doing that is called as vikarma. So today, even in this, you know, state laws, if we break some rules, traffic rules, then we are put behind the bar. So similarly, if we are doing any lawful activities, we are doing vikarma, then we are getting reactions. So in order to not get reactions, we have to perform a karma. So we saw karma, karma, and vikarma. So our today's topic, coming back to our today's topic is kal, that is time. So we are going to see 3 aspects of time. No, this kal is mentioned in 3, is addressed in 3 ways. So what are those three ways? First one, so kal is an indication for the moment of death. So everybody, so like yesterday, last time, we saw the jiva, it takes up a body. For some time, it takes up the body, and after the body gets old or worn out, it will take another body. So there is, the body comes into being, and after it gets old, this body is, over, it is finished, and it takes up, the soul takes another body. So Kal is an indication of the moment of death. So everybody, as soon as we take birth, our death time is fixed. That is called as moment of death. So we have got an expiry date. All of us have got an expiry date. So this is called as Kal is also called as indication of the moment of death. Whatever the time of death a person has, that is called as Kal. Now I'll just show you a small clipping, and then you can just tell me what it indicates. So, okay, so you all just now saw this is a monkey who is trapped in the mouth of a crocodile. So he is just going to die. That means his or time, the moment of death has come, and he is going to die. But what the monkey is doing? The monkey is still, striving hard to escape and to enjoy. So, everybody's time is fixed. You cannot change that time. So there is one very beautiful story about how, everybody has a fixed time of death. So there was one bird, and it was flying, and the death personified, there is a person, Yamraj, who, at the time of death, he will come and take the body to its own abode. So he saw that bird, it was flying, and he was wondering that this bird is, flying. So nevertheless, he smiled and he went away. But that bird became very frightened. The bird saw Yamraj, and she thought, "No, I will die." So immediately she flies and she goes to the king, and she goes in king's court, and she tells, "My dear king, please, please, please help me. I have seen Yamraj, and I think my time has come, and you have to save me." So king said, "Don't worry, I will protect you." So he orders his ministers and soldiers to take this bird in the far away mountain, and in the cage you should lock this bird, and the guards should also guard it, so that nothing should happen to this bird. So this bird is very nicely taken to far distant near a mountain and put in a cage. And sure enough, Yamraj comes there, and he sees that this bird is brought by the king to the place where she is supposed to die. So Yamraj was actually thinking, this bird is supposed to die. She's supposed to be in this cave, and what is she doing here? She's flying near this palace, king's palace. That is why he was smiling and wondering. But nevertheless, he thought, whatever is a destiny will happen. And then when he sees that the king himself is bringing that bird to the very place where she is supposed to die. So everybody's time of death is fixed. Everybody's place of death is fixed. That is what we learn from this story. So this is the first aspect of time. Time means the time of a person's moment of death. Now, second thing, what the Kal is sometimes the death personified god. Yamraj is also called as Kal. The death, the god of death, Yamraj. He is called as Kal. So who is Yamraj actually? See, Krishna, is a creator. He has created everything, all the solar system, planetary system, everything, the space and all that. But after creating, he is not maintaining it himself, or not creating also personally himself. He's just doing it through some agencies. So he has got all his, all his portals and all his ministers, all his Devi Devtas, they are working for him, under him, and they are taking in charge of one each department. So Yamaraj is in charge of law and order, and he is in charge of taking the souls who are, who have finished their time duration of stay in this world. He's supposed to take them and give them another body. So this is the work of Yamaraj. So Yamaraj is also called as Kal. So Yamaraj is actually the son of Surya Dev. Surya Dev has two sons. One is Yamaraj, another is Shani Dev, and he has got one daughter called Yamuna. So river Yamuna, we know. So these are the three children of Surya Dev. So Yamaraj is also Surya Dev's son. So Yamaraj is called, also mentioned as Kal. Then there is another third meaning for Kal, and that is Kal or time cycle. So there is time cycle, we see every day, people, when we get up early in the morning, we first ask our parents while we are in sleep, we are so feeling so sleepy. What is the time? I have to get up because I have to go to the school. So the moment you get up, you are just saying, what's the time? It is cyclical, time. So then you get up at 6, are ready by 7, is are out of the home at 8 o'clock, at school at 8:30. So it is just going on. Time is going on. So time is calculated in seconds, in minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, millennium, era. So in modern day, we have some calculation of time. So in the scriptures also there are various calculations of time. So what are the scriptural calculations of time? So scripture, according to the scriptures, the calculations are different, For example, yeah, they are called as, 1 minute, yeah. So it is called as Nimesh, Kast, uh, then Kalas, Muhurtas, then, no, Ahoratra, then year, and then there are Yugas. See, now in creation, the time is eternal. The time just keeps on going. The living entities keep changing the bodies after bodies, and also there is the creation happens for some time, and then there is some pralay for in during certain duration. But time is still going on. There is continuous creation, dissolution happening, but time is eternal. Time goes on. So also, there are four yugas which are calculated. So first one is Satyayug, second is Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, and Kali Yug. So right now, the present day and age which we are living in is Kali Yug. And this Kali Yuga it will last for 4,32,000 years, out of which 5,000 years are over so far. So still how many years are left? 4,27,000 years are still left in Kali Yuga. So twice of Kali Yuga is Dwapar Yuga. So, this is 8,64,000 years are of Dwapar Yuga. And Treta Yuga is 12,96,000 years. And Satya Yuga is 17 lakhs 28,000 years. So these are the four yugas. So in Satya Yuga, people used to live very long because the duration of Satya Yuga was also very long. They used to live long duration. Everybody was very healthy, very happy. And Treta Yuga, then duration shortened. Dwapar Yuga, the duration still shortened. People in Satya Yuga, people used to live for 1 lakh years. In Treta Yuga, people live for 10,000 years. Dwapar Yuga, people live for 1,000 years. And in Kali Yuga, people live only for 100 years and even less. Today, rarely people live for 100 years even. So these are the four yugas. So these four yugas, if you combine these four yugas together, then that four yuga together is called as one Chatur Yuga. So one Chatur Yuga it is called. Four yugas together is called one Chatur Yuga. And like this 71 Chatur Yuga is called as one Manvantar. So what is Manvantar? There are Manus, just like we have kings and prime ministers for 5 years. Similarly, for 71 Chatur Yugas, there is one king called Manu. And that entire reign of Manu is called as Manvantar. So 71 Chatur Yugas, one Manu rules the uh, time, like that much time the Manu rules. Then 14 Manvantar is one Kalp, and that one Kalpa is 1 day of Brahma. And similarly, Brahma lives for 100 years. So whatever you are seeing on the screen, that many number of years, I don't even want to, uh, I can't even spell it how much it is, how many zeros and how many numbers. So this many are the celestial years of Brahma. So this time calculation is unlimited, infinite. We cannot calculate, but this is a limited calculation that the scriptures have about the time. So yes, now earlier we saw Devendra is raising hand. Says I will give enough time for question answers. You can put your hand down. I will come to you. So yes, earlier we saw that yes, the time of death is called as Kal. Then uh, death personified, Yamraj is also called as Kal, and calculation of time is also called as Kal. So these are the three indications of Kal. So so death, we just said that as sure as death, death is certain. You cannot this body cannot stay long. It has to die one day. Just like one day mm, um, there was one lady, whose son died, small kid died, and she went to Lord Buddha and she said, "Please do something and please put life in my kid's body." And Buddha wanted to tell her that one day he's going to die. His time was up, and that's why he's gone. But he knew that she is in distress and she will not understand it that way. So he said, "No problem. You go to the house and beg some rice from the house where nobody has died in their house, and from such house only you have to bring that grains of rice so that I can do the last rites of the child." So she started begging. She went to each and every house, and she said that I want some rice, but see that nobody has died in your house. And she comes and she goes here and there to so many places, but then she comes empty handed and she tells Buddha that there is no place where there is no death taken place in anyone's house. So she understands that death is certain and we cannot keep this body up. So this is how Kal is death, moment of death. Then Yamraj is god of death, is also called as Kal, and calculation of time is also called as Kal. Now you will say, "Ma'am, this is so it is so horrifying. How is it uh, going to be beneficial for us? How it is going to help us?" So for us, it is important to understand that time is very precious. The moments that we have today, just like you all are studying, and while there is no emergency, when there is no exam time, exams are very far off, you all are just wasting your time. And I will study, exam for exam, there's still 1 month for exam. I will study like tomorrow, from tomorrow, and the tomorrow never comes, and then exam time comes, and then you are studying day and night, and then your paper is just going to begin in 10 minutes, and you think, "Oh, if I just get 1 hour, then I will finish my studies." So this is what, when the time comes very close of your examination, you value the importance of time. Then you feel that I wish I could get more time, if I could buy more time. But time is limited. You don't have to waste it. So, it is said that, time is money. There are there was a survey done for people of people who are going to die, dying men. There was a survey done, and they were asked, what are your regrets? So the greatest regret, they said, is we wasted a lot of time. We had so much time, and we could have achieved so much. We could have done so much efforts and endeavors so that we could be successful, but we did not put, and now we are regretting. We wish we could have some little more time. So we should never waste time. That is a take away from this. Rest all is not very important for us. Time of death, when it will come, it will come. But while we are living, what is important is not to waste time. Live a very proper life. And we also saw that whatever activities we are doing in our particular time, lifespan, from our birth to our death, whatever activities we are doing, that is going to define our next life, next birth. So that is why we have to perform our good activities within our time, do our duties very well. So not to waste our time. Now coming back to not to waste our time. So I want to tell you beautiful stories about how not to waste time. So once, all of you know Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he was a king and he was ruling Hastinapur and Indraprasth after the war of Kurukshetra. He was ruling the kingdom. And Yudhishthira Maharaj had a practice. People would come, the subjects would come and, uh, ring the bell, and they would come to the king and tell their problems, and the king would solve it. So one day, one man came to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he said his problem, but he just came out very quickly, and Bhima was waiting outside. And Bhima said, "What happened? You did not meet the king?" He said, "No, no, I met Yudhishthira Maharaj. I met the king." Then Bhima said, "Then what happened?" "No, no, actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj was a little busy, and he said, we will tackle your problem. We'll listen to your problem tomorrow." So Bhima got very upset. He said, "Really? Wait a minute." And immediately Bhima, started ringing the bell, which was a huge bell. He had to just, bang it, and everybody would assemble near in the court assembly. So as Bhima rang and everybody gathered, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj also came, and Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "What happened? What's the problem?" He said, "No, no, I want to, my dear brother, my dear king, I wanted to congratulate you. You have conquered time." So Mr. Maharaj said, "Why? Why I have conquered time? No. Why are you saying that?" So he said, "No, no, because this gentleman had come to you and he wanted to sort his problem, but you said not today, tomorrow. So you are so certain that you will live tomorrow, and tomorrow you could do justice." So Yudhishthir Maharaj immediately understood his mistake, and immediately he called that man. He listened to his problem and tackled and solved his problem. So this is how time is uh, eternal, but it is very uncertain. We cannot say tomorrow what will happen. We have seen so many instances that when somebody dies, we say that yesterday he was fine. At night he ate nice dinner and he slept. Morning he got up, did exercise, and he died. So time is very uncertain. That can come anytime. So this is what Bhima wanted to tell Yudhishthira Maharaj, that we cannot put our work to be done today on tomorrow. So Yudhishthira Maharaj immediately understood his mistake and took that problem to be solved. There's another one very nice story of Akbar. So there was Akbar. All Akbar Birbal stories are very famous. So Akbar, he was very proud that he's king, and he was also not very attentive. So once, one fakir was roaming. Fakir means saints. In Islam, there are fakirs, like we have saints and sant. They will, they will keep roaming and give knowledge to people. So this fakir was also roaming, and he saw Akbar, and Akbar was saying, Akbar was saying, "Oh fakir, please bless me." And that fakir understood that Akbar is very casual, and he said that I am. He said, "Who are you?" He said, "I am Akbar. I'm king." So he thought, okay, he's very proud. So he said, then he asked, the fakir asked Akbar, "This kingdom of yours, whom did it belong earlier? Before you, who was ruling over it?" He said, "My father." "Okay. And before your father?" He said, "My grandfather." "And before that?" "Someone else." And someone else, someone else. And Akbar understood, oh, people who were ruling before me, they are gone. And soon tomorrow I will be gone. So I don't have to be proud. Time is eternal, but we have limited time. So this is what Akbar also understood. Then there is then should we really be very scared of time, and we are not, we are just, so sometimes what happens in our life, there are some good times, there are bad times. Sometimes some moments are very happy moments. We feel this moment should never go, we should be always very happy, this time should never go. And sometimes there are difficult times, exam times. We think this exam time should just get over very fast. So for this also, we should always remember, the time, whether it is good or bad, we should understand that you should just tolerate, and we should face that time. So there's a very beautiful story for this also. So there was one king, and he called his ministers, all his ministers, and he told everyone, "Just give me one nice formula which I can remember forever. In good times and in bad times, I can always remember. This will always be beneficial for me." Right? One statement. and all the ministers came together and they started discussing amongst themselves within their ears and all that. And they came up with one sentence, and they wrote it on a chit and gave it to the king. And the king saw, and the chit was right, it was written on the chit that this time shall soon pass. That means this time will get over. So king becomes very angry because this king was very happy. Everything was very much flourishing. He had lots of wealth and he was a powerful king. He was very wealthy king and he didn't want this time to get over. So he immediately he told, take this minister and lock him up. So and then some time passed, 5 6 years passed, and then this king suddenly, the neighboring king, he came and he attacked this kingdom. And this king, almost all the soldiers had died in this kingdom, and this king was very upset. And the king, with limited soldiers, he went finally to fight this king, enemy king, neighboring king. And as he was fighting, almost, they were going to capture this king. And king suddenly went in, he found one cave, and he entered that cave, and he just was hiding there. And suddenly a spider, he built a cobweb over there. Their spiders are so, quick in building this cobweb. So this cobweb was built, and this king was very, 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 um, very anxious. He was thinking, now what will happen? And immediately that paper which was written by that minister, that was in the ring of that king. And suddenly from that ring fell from this king's hand, and this paper came out, and he read that paper, this time shall soon pass. So now when he was unhappy, he was very happy to hear this sentence, oh, this time will go away quickly, and then I will be soon happy. So he became very happy. And then immediately he was praying to God, and he heard that somebody is coming near this cave, and I'm going to be, I'll be dead. So he suddenly, the ministers, the neighboring king, the ministers and soldiers, they come to catch him. But they see that this cave, there is a cobweb, and the spiders are built a cobweb. That means nobody has gone inside, and they go away like this. And after some time, in few minutes, the ministers also are, they are the minister who was in the jail. The king had put him in the jail. He comes out. He comes with some soldiers, with some army, and rescues the king, and attacks the neighboring king, kills the king, and they are all gone. And this king, they remove this king from the cave, and they said, my dear king, it's all over. The king, we have, defeated the neighboring king, and you are victorious. So you can come without fear. So this king immediately, begs forgiveness from the minister. He says, what you had written was so perfect. It was so perfect for good and bad times, that this time shall pass. So what does it mean when you are happy? You should understand this time will not remain like this only. So you should not be, you have got first rank. You should not feel very, oh, no, I don't have to study. I am so intelligent. No, you should still keep striving and studying very hard, so that you don't become complacent and start getting low grades. And when you are doing bad, you should not feel despondent. You should rather work hard and overcome the weak subjects which you are in, and try to study and get better marks. This is how you have to understand time in your context. You should never waste time, and should not be lethargic in good times. You should not be despondent in your bad times. So I hope you all have understood today's topic of Kal. Now we'll open up for questions. Before we'll open for the questions, let me again quickly recap the Kal. So Kal, we saw the three indications of Kal. First one was time of death. Each one has a particular time of death, and that is called as Kal. Yamraj, the god of death, is also called as Kal. And then calculation of time durations, years, days, weeks, months, years, decades, millenniums, they are cyclical. That is also called as Kal. And then we saw how we should not waste time. When there is enough time, we should put in proper effort, so that we don't waste time, and we can achieve a lot of good things in our time duration. And we saw stories how death is certain. Nothing can be done to avoid death. We saw the story of that bird. We saw the story of that lady who went to Lord Buddha. So I hope everybody has understood this simple yet not very happy topic about Kal. But whatever we could extract for our benefit, we have done. So let's see if anybody has question. Yes, Devendra is raising his hands. Yes, Devendra can ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. I have a question that you said that there are four yogas, means yogas.
Yeah,
There we are in Kali Yuga, right?
yeah,
So, ma'am, when Kali Yuga will end,
yeah.
then there will be no yogas.
No, that's what I was saying. Time is cyclical means, see, what are these four yugas called?
Satyug, Chatur yogas.
This is called as Chaturyug. Four yugas together is called as Chaturyug. So
Hmm.
after one Chaturyug, what happens? There is some time lapse for some time. There is dissolution, there is pralay, and again there is creation, and again four yugas begin. So like this, continuously the yugas get started from Satyug to Kali Yuga. After Kali Yuga, there is some dissolution, partial dissolution, and again the yugas begin. So like that we saw na how many 14 chatur yugas is called as one manvantar. So we saw that calculation. So yes, after Kali Yuga, there is resolution and again the creation begins. The yuga begins from Satya Yuga again.
Means on earth there will be infinity life.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Any more questions? Yes, Tharun. Somebody's playing on the screen. Okay, Tharun can ask the question. He's there. He's raising the hand.
Yes, ma'am. I had question that if Kal is eternal, then how can we overcome bad times in our life?
Kal is eternal.
Yes, ma'am.
Then
Can we overcome bad times in our life?
yeah, Kal is eternal, time is eternal, but sometimes, in our life, there are good moments and happy moments that will go on. But when there are bad moments in our time duration, we should not be despondent. We should overcome in the senses, we should not be despondent, we should be positive and do your duties. You should not, like that king was frightened, but then when he saw that this time will pass away, then he understood that yes, whatever good or bad times, I have to keep struggling, I have to keep thriving. Okay. When I said that we cannot overcome time, means what? It's not that we can overcome death. Like we saw in the story of that bird and this lady who went to Lord Buddha. We can't overcome death, but I'm saying that you can overcome the bad times. Is bad times means when there are difficult situations in your life, you should not get despondent. That is what I meant. We should not waste time. We should not be complacent during our good times, and we should not be despondent in our bad times. That has got nothing to do with your death. Okay, Tharun? Yes, Samruddhi.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask what is Kalp?
Samruddhi, yeah. I
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
hear you, beta.
I just wanted to ask what is Kalp?
I'm not able to hear. Now say, Samruddhi.
Ma'am, I just wanted to ask what is Kalp?
What is
Kalp.
Kalp? What is Kalp? Okay, Bhakti, can you show that slide again? Just have a look at that slide.
No, not this. No. Mm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
here.
you can see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
The
can see
ma
one Kalp. You
yeah.
can see? So
Yeah.
one Kalp is equal to 14 Manvantar.
Huh.
14 Manvantar means how much is one Manvantar first? One Manvantar is 72 Chaturyugas. Chaturyugas means Satyayug, Tretayug, Dwapar and Kalyug. That is called as one Chaturyug. So 71 such Chaturyug is called as one Manvantar. And 14 Manvantar is called as one Kalp. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, next. Who is next? Sri Young.
Ma'am, there are 5 elements: air, fire, water, earth, and ether, right?
Yeah.
Ma'am, then what is the meaning of ether?
Ether is air in space.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Anybody else has any question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ved.
Just like I've heard that when you read the Bhagavad Gita, we means some people say that you get all the answers of your life. So is
Hmm.
that true?
Yes, that is true. If you read Bhagavad Gita, you will understand how to lead your life, properly. Like today, we are just doing this 5 sessions. They are overview sessions. But if you start studying Bhagavad Gita in detail, then you will understand, how to lead your life, in a right manner, so that you can be happy, content, and satisfied in life. So it is a way of life. Bhagavad Gita is a way of life. It's a very beautiful book. The sooner the better. At this young age, if you are able to study Bhagavad Gita, then there will be no confusions in your life. You will be sorted. You will know what to do, when to do, how to do it at the right time. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you again. I don't want to scare you with the death, but during this December, there is Gita Jayanti and we do book distribution. We distribute Bhagavad Gitas everywhere. So one devotee, he was going door to door, and he just rang a bell, and the lady, after much time, she opened, and then he said, "Ma'am, can you take a book?" She said, "Why? Why did you disturb me?" He said, "No, just we are just distributing Bhagavad Gita, and if you want to have it." And with a little reluctance, she took it and she read it. And behind the Bhagavad Gita was, the address of the temple from where that guy had come and the phone number. And then next day she called up and she said, "Thank you so much. You gave me this Bhagavad Gita. Actually, I was going to commit suicide. I was so fed up. I did not know how to lead my life. There is so much confusion and tension. But before just then, I was going to end my life. You came with this Bhagavad Gita, and I thought, as it is, I want to finish my life. Before dying, let me see what is there if I get some answers." And she read Bhagavad Gita and she understood that, understood that Bhagavad Gita is so wonderful and this life is so precious. And she understood the way to live this life wonderfully. And she gave up the thought of committing suicide, and she became a wonderful person with all positive attitudes, and she lived very well after that. Okay, Ved?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Anyone else has any question? You can ask any question, huh? Not only related to today's topic was small, it was Kal, but you can ask questions related to our earlier topics of Ishwar, Jeev, Karma, and today's Kal, everything. Yes, Anirudh.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that means in the Bhagavad Gita, how could Sanjay, Vaisya, they another means devotees of Lord Krishna could see his universal form from their planets which was shown to Arjun.
Can you repeat it again?
I am saying, ma'am.
You spoke about Sanjay, right?
Yes, ma'am. Sanjay,
Huh.
Vaisya, and other devotees of Lord Krishna who were on
Hmm.
other planets could see the means universal form shown to Arjun, and
Hmm.
Arjun was given divine eyes to see that. How could the other devotees could see the universal form?
Huh. So those who could see, they were divine. They had got divine eyes. Like Sanjay actually was an ordinary person. He couldn't have seen, but Dhritarashtra wanted to see the Mahabharat war, and he was blind. So Veda Vyas, he said, Dhritarashtra, I will give you eyes so that you can see from here. So that was divine eyes which Vedavyas was providing for Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra said, I was blind by birth. I don't even recognize anybody. Who is Arjun? Who is Duryodhana? I will not even understand, because since childhood I have not seen them. I only know their voice. So I will not be able to recognize. Do one thing. He is my secretary Sanjay. You give him that divine voice. So he had got that divine eyes, by which, because of that, he could also see uh, the Vishwarup, which was shown by Krishna to Arjuna. Otherwise, in ordinary times, Sanjay wouldn't have been able to see that. So we need Divya Drishti to see that uh, Virat Roop, Vishwaroop.
Thank you, ma'am.
But devotees can see Krishna, because devotees are having perfect understanding of Krishna. That this two-handed form of Krishna is looking very beautiful and delicate. But from him only is coming this Vishwaroop also. This ghastly form of Vishwaroop is within this beautiful two-handed form of Krishna. That devotees know very well that Krishna is not ordinary. But other non-devotees, they consider Krishna as ordinary. And that is why they disrespect him. People like Duryodhan, people like Shishupal, Jarasan, they think that Krishna is ordinary. And that is why they mistreat Krishna, offend Krishna. But
Yes, ma'am.
Krishna is not ordinary.
Thank
Devotees
you.
understand it very well. Yes. Rima.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी।
Yes, Hare
बहुत
Krishna.
जगह ऐसा होता है कि पूर्व जन्म का बताया जाता है,
Hmm.
लेकिन जब हम लोग इस जीवन में आते हैं तो कहा जाता है कि माया, भगवान की माया की वजह से हम सब कुछ भूल जाते हैं। तो बहुत लोगों को पूर्व जन्म का याद कैसे रहता है?
हाँ, कुछ कुछ लोगों को पूर्व जन्म का याद रहता है, सबको नहीं याद रहता। कुछ कुछ ही लोगों को याद रहता है, और वो याद रहना एक्चुअली अच्छा नहीं है, क्योंकि हम ये जीवन जी नहीं पाएंगे। जैसे एकांश, सो एकांश, यू आर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन, राइट? सो एक्चुअली क्या होता है, when you take birth, at the time of birth, when the child is coming out of the womb, there is so much struggle that Krishna gives forgetfulness. When you are in the womb, mother's womb, you remember all the lifetimes, so many births that you have taken. The child remembers everything, and he prays because he remembers everything. Oh, so many births, so many lives I've spent uselessly, and he prays that Krishna, please bless me. Once I come out, then I will become a good child, and I will not do anything wrong. Please bless me, please forgive me. And during the time of birth, it is coming from by so much force that the child, with that force he forgets everything. That forgetfulness is given by Krishna purposely, because what happens if you remember your last life, it will be very difficult for you to live this life. Suppose, last life, if you start remembering last life, suppose your last life enemy is only born as your sister Khanak, example, huh? Then it will be so difficult for you to live with her, you know. So we don't know so many living entities, past life living entities are near us, neighbors and all that. If we start remembering everything, it will be difficult for us to live this life comfortably. So that is why Krishna gives us that benediction of forgetting the last life, because if you start remembering the last life, you cannot focus on this life. Just like, if you just remember, which class you are in, Ekansh? Ekansh, which class you are in?
Mataji, 5th grade. One more question.
Fifth
Uh,
grade. But I have not finished this answer only. So fifth grade. If fourth grade, if you have not got good marks and if you just keep regretting, अरे fourth में मैं अच्छा किया होता तो कैसे अच्छा होता, and if you just keep wasting time of thinking about fourth grade, then it will be very difficult for you to focus on fifth grade and get good marks in fifth grade. Similarly, if you are just focusing, if you remember last life, then it will be very, you will just focus on last life. Last life, actually I was born very rich. This life, my parents are not very rich. If you focus like this, then it will be very difficult to live this life. So that is why Krishna mercifully gives us forgetfulness so that we can be in present, we can live the present life better. Yes.
माताजी एक और
Anyone else?
माताजी एक और क्वेश्चन है कि
Yes.
जैसे बहुत लोगों के व्यवहार से पता चल जाएगा ना कि वो पूर्व जन्म में क्या थे, तो ऐसे क्या साइंस होते हैं? कहा जाता है ना कि व्यवहार से पता चल जाता है कि ये पूर्व जन्म में ऐसे थे।
हाँ, पूर्व जन्म में आप बहुत विद्वान रहे होंगे, टुडे आप आज जैसे बिहेव करते हो, some children are very well mannered, well behaved, वेरी वाइज, अच्छा समझ पाते हैं भगवत गीता के ज्ञान को, तो समझना चाहिए कि पिछले जन्म से वो ये करते आ रहे हैं। तो
यस,
कहते हैं कि बच्चे का जो गुण है वो पालने में ही दिखाई देता है, बचपन में ही समझ आता है। अगर कोई बच्चा, मैं जब छोटी थी तो हमारे एक नेबर थे, नेबर लड़का मेरे जितना ही, और वो बचपन से ही वो गन लेके हैंड्स अप, और मैं हैंड्स अप करो, मैं पुलिस हूँ, ये वो, एंड फिर वो आगे चल के आर्मी ज्वाइन किया उन्होंने, और बड़े ऑफिसर बन गए। तो बचपन से ही पता चलता, और ये बचपन से ही ऐसा कर रहे हैं, मतलब लास्ट लाइफ से डेफिनेटली ये कर चलता आ रहा था, ये करते आ रहे थे, क्योंकि घर में तो कोई, किसी को बंदूक का कोई शौक नहीं था, किसी को कुछ भी लेना देना नहीं था आर्मी में। तो ये पास्ट लाइफ से जो हम करते हैं, जैसे हमने बोला कि जिस ये आज की लाइफ में हम जो कर रहे हैं, अगर ये लाइफ में कोई बहुत सारा मीट खा रहा है, फ्लैश, नॉन वेजिटेरियन फूड खा रहे हैं, सो ही सो यूज टू ईटिंग दिस एनिमल्स, दैट नेक्स्ट लाइफ ही विल गेट अ कार्निवोर बॉडी, लायन टाइगर, जिसमें वो ही विल बी एबल टू फुलफिल हिज डिजायर। तो हमारे डिजायर्स को फुलफिल करने के लिए उसी हिसाब से शरीर मिलता है। तो अगर हमारा शरीर ऐसे आर्मी वाला है, तो लास्ट लाइफ में भी आपको वो एस्पिरेशन था, इसलिए आज आप ऑफिसर बन गए हो। और आज अगर आप डिवोटी बनने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, तो लास्ट लाइफ में भी आप बहुत सारा गीता ज्ञान पढ़ चुके हो, इसलिए आज आप पढ़ रहे हो इसको। सो दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम लास्ट लाइफ डेफिनेटली।
माताजी जैसे मुझे पानी से डर लगता है, तो मम्मा कहती है कि मैं पिछले जन्म में पानी की वजह से कुछ हुआ होगा, डेप्थ
हाँ,
से।
तो या लास्ट लाइफ में भी, और कभी कभी हम देखते हैं इस लाइफ में भी कुछ हमारे साथ होता है। अभी मैं पहले टू व्हीलर ये करती थी, ड्राइव करती थी, लेकिन 2-3 बार मेरा एक्सीडेंट हो गया। तो अभी मुझे टू व्हीलर पे पीछे बैठने से भी डर लगता है, कार में भी आगे की सीट पे बैठने से डर लगता है। तो इस लाइफ के ही कुछ एक्सपीरियंसेस से मुझे कुछ डर हुआ है। तो अगर पानी का कोई, मुझे भी पानी से डर लगता है, तो लेकिन पानी का कोई एक्सपीरियंस इस लाइफ में नहीं है, तो डेफिनेटली लास्ट लाइफ में हमको पानी का कुछ एक्सपीरियंस, पानी का एक्सपीरियंस सबको है। बिकॉज जैसे हमने देखा, अभी 4 युग होते हैं, सतयुग, त्रेता युग, द्वापर युग और कलयुग, और उस कलयुग के बाद प्रलय आता है। प्रलय यानी पानी से सब लोग डूबते हैं। तो ये पानी वाला एक्सपीरियंस सबको होता है, और पानी से 99.99% लोग डरते हैं because we have that experience of pralay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Anyone? You're welcome. Anyone else has any question? Tharun again, or it's just by mistake?
Yes, ma'am. I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
We take birth on earth for doing our duties and go to Krishna.
I
And
didn't get your question.
ma'am, we take birth on earth for doing our duties and go to Krishna.
Duties and
Go to Krishna
go to Krishna. Okay. Yeah.
and take rebirth on other youth.
We take rebirth.
On other youth means in Dwapar Yugas.
Yeah. If during the Kalyug, at the end of Kalyug, if you have taken birth and our activities are still in progress, then we are born in another yuga also, so that your activities which you want to do, you will get that field, you will get that circumstances wherein you can complete your activities. So you will get birth again.
So, ma'am, this is the life of birth. So, how can we go to Krishna and not come or not?
Okay. By performing a karma. When you are performing a karma, when you are performing our duties in a way as a devotional service to the Lord, when you are doing bhakti, when you are doing your duties as a student, if you are studying very well and offering that fruits, the results to the Lord, then you are not getting any sinful reaction. You are getting purified. You are not committing any sins. You are getting purified. You are doing all your activities or actions for the pleasure of the Lord. And that is why after this life, you are going to Krishna and not taking birth again. And then you will have an eternal life in Krishna's abode. Right? This was your question, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Anyone else who has not asked so far can ask. Aditya?
Ma'am, my question is, what is karma?
What is karma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, karma is our actions. Whatever actions we do, that is called as karma. Broadly, we all our actions, now you are speaking, that is also karma. I am listening to your question, that is also karma. We all are discussing, that is karma. So each and every action is called as karma. But if you see a proper definition, karma means your actions, your duties. You all are students, so your prime duty is to study. So your duty is to study, and your karma, that means education. To pursue education is your karma right now.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. So last question now we'll take Ved. Aradhya, we can take from Aradhya. Ved, we have taken one question. So we'll take from Aradhya now. Yes, Aradhya.
Ma'am, my question is, how can we go to Vaikuntha for Lord to serve?
How can you go to Vaikuntha for Lord to serve you or you to serve Lord? Yes, you can. Just now I was answering, no? I just answered this question. How he was asking the same question, that how can we do the karma by which we don't take birth again? So when we do our karma, just now somebody asked, what is karma? When you are doing your duty, your karma of studies for yourself, then you get bound. Then you take birth again and again when you are doing it for yourself. But the same karma, the same duty, when you are doing it for the pleasure of the Lord, as devotion to Lord, then that becomes a karma, that becomes devotion. And then you are not bound by any sinful reaction. And then after this life, you go to Vaikuntha to serve Lord and be happy with the Lord. Okay? Understood, Aradhya?
Yes.
Okay. So I think now time is up. We can take one last question. If anyone has other than Ved, because Ved has already asked, or else we can stop and we can, take your question next time. Next time is our last session on Prakriti, nature. And then we can answer all your remaining questions. So thank you very much for your active participation. See you. Okay, Deepak has a question. He has never asked. So just quickly, we'll take his question. Last question.
Ma'am, which yuga will come after Kali Yuga?
The Satyug. This will continue. This is cyclical, na? It is a cycle. After Kali Yuga, again Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. This cycle will go on. Okay. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. See you next Tuesday for our last session of Gita overview. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Good night, everyone.